Friday afternoon here out at the Jericho Pier. It was blowing a little better before, but now we got a big wind shadow in close. We got a nice looking wind line out there, and there's a catamaran zipping around out there, so it's definitely like 9-10 knots out there, but in here it's pretty nothing. So we're gonna see if we can make it out there. Got a new peak for this is the 6 meter. My other one's 5 meter, so hopefully this one's a bit better in these 9-10 knot range, because the other one's okay, but it really comes alive at like 12 knots. So let's hope the 6 meter does the same kind of performance as the 5, but with just a little more power. I don't know, it's probably going to be tight to see if I can make it the wind line, but give it a try. It's hot out here anyways. It is. No. No. All right, the wind finally came into shore, so looks good for sure. Time to go now. Accidentally had the camera off when I got it started there. Took a second try with the bit of shallow water and slightly onshore wind. Up now, I'm gonna say it's like 11 to 12 knots, and I definitely feel the bigger kite in this wind. This would be more the sweet spot for the 5. The 6 is a little forceful with me, but it's fine. It's not bad or anything. It's just I'm feeling the difference now. This freighter here is like dead sideways into the wind for some reason. Like dead sideways. You see the other freighters are all lined up with the wind. This guy is odd. Alright, up here at the first dolphin, my go-to thing foiling out here is just to come up here and then ride the little tiny swell here, following the sandbank back down to the pier. It's just like it's not even here. Moth over there flying around. Let's see if we can get close to the moth. Nice looking boat. Haven't seen this moth before. There's a black one out that I see sometimes, but this is the first time I've seen this red one. Looks like a pretty high performance craft. That sideways ship. You can see the giant wind shadow behind it. It's crazy. I can't see the tide doing that either. I don't know what the hell's doing that. The swell is kind of headed down to Stanley Park southwest. around 8 or 9, probably more 9 than 8, but it's definitely not 10. No white caps left, and it is easier with the 6. It's very similar to the 5, but it's just that little bit of less workout when it's this low. So that's good. My last couple videos, skimboarding on the sandbar. That sandbar is right here. There's a seal too. Yeah, this is sandbar right here. Much higher tide, obviously. All right. Start there. With the 5, the loops would have been going a lot faster. I would have been doing like 2, 3, 4 loops. But with the 6, the loops are pretty slow. This is now definitely more on the 8 knots side of things. Not too bad on the 6 meter, to be honest. It's not like a crazy workout like it is on the 5. It's not easy or anything, but it's not bad. Foot switches and 8 knots is a bit tricky. Not much support from the kite. Alright, from the upper dolphin down to the pier, it's going to be a lot of leg burn. And it's super light, so it's going to be tricky. Funny thing about hydrofoiling and light winds is it's actually harder to go downwind than it is to go upwind. Pumping the foil makes the camera give motion sickness too, so it's not so good for video. Gotta hand it to the guy in that red kite. I don't know what it is, maybe an Air Rush Ultra, I don't know, but this is not LEI kind of winds. This is like 8 at best right now. We got 2 kites that are just bobbing in the water down here, LEIs of course. I don't know what we're dealing with here, but it's not a lot of wind. 6 knots maybe. Well, I think it's time to go in. I don't think I can water start in this. It's like 5 knots or something. Oh, I don't think I'll be able to keep the kite dry either. Dragging our way back to the beach. The wind's actually a little better in here, so maybe I'll be able to make it to the beach dry. We'll see. All right, terra firma. Well, made it to shore with the kite dry. The wind, I think, picked up a little bit. Feels like 7 or 8 now. I'm almost tempted to see if I can get going and in it again. Pretty close there at the last ditch effort before the pier. But it's super marginal. Like, really, really light. Yeah, so far good session. Wind was pretty decent for most of the time, but yeah, you know, typical light wind foiling day. The peak for 6 meter overall, I'm happy with it. I'm glad I bought it. It's definitely, it's not a huge amount more than the 5 meter. Like, they're close, because the 5 meter actually kind of whips around pretty quick. The 6 meter is noticeably slower than the 5 meter, but it's a little more stable. It's a little, I found it a little easier doing foot switches and stuff out there. Yeah, so in that kind of 9-10 knot range, it's definitely the better kite. Above that, I think the 5 takes over.